Joseph Parker, in my strong opinion, is going to outbox Zhang over 12 rounds and win a points decision. I'm doing this video before I predict the main event between Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou because I feel this one is a lot more interesting and a lot more competitive. Zhang is a fantastic boxer in the sense that he's very good at walking his opponents into shots because Zhang is a big guy. He's a veteran, he's a former Olympic silver medalist, and he's a huge guy who has fast hands for a man of his size. His, again, hands are not like Joe Joyce's. They are a lot faster, and he's powerful and he's accurate. So that's a scary combination. But he has slow, old man-like feet. He is not very good at cutting off the ring. He knows what he wants to do. He knows where he wants to step. And again, he is very good at taking a slight step back when his opponent comes to him to walk them into shots, and he's got really good hand skills. He knows how to put combinations together. He can lead off with an uppercut, with a hook, with a jab, with a cross, and his opponents, because he hits very hard, can get caught and be hurt by them. Joe Joyce was hurt multiple times in the first fight by this guy. In the rematch, well, Joe Joyce was intimidated, as you would expect, because he got beaten up in the first fight. So Zhang is, of course, excellent, and there's that. He's excellent at enforcing his game plan. Even in the Filip Hrgovic fight, he got caught repeatedly himself, but he never really got hurt. He was very good at countering Filip Hrgovic. And by the way, I thought Filip Hrgovic won that fight. I don't think Zhang was robbed. But Filip Hrgovic couldn't hurt Zhang. Zhang, when he was getting tired, he was, again, able to make these subtle movements with his feet and with his hands, with his upper body, to try and walk Filip Hrgovic into his range to where he could catch him with an uppercut, with a hook. And because he hits very hard, Filip Hrgovic was buzzed multiple times and he would hold on. So Zhang, who has good stamina for 6 rounds and then fades considerably after that, he is very good at making these adjustments, again, to try and walk his opponents onto his power shots. He's excellent in that way, to be honest. Better than a lot of heavyweights. The thing is that he's never fought somebody at this level with the foot speed and the youth and the fitness of Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is one of the best conditioned fighters at this level. He's not the same fighter he used to be. He was a lot quicker back when he was a young man and trying to emulate Roy Jones when he was WBO champion with Kevin Barry in his corner. Joseph Parker now adopts more of a Kronk style because he is trained by Andy Lee, who was a disciple of Manny Stewart. So he plants his feet a lot more. He relies more on pressuring his opponents rather than relying on athleticism to try and outbox his opponents. Instead of holding his lead hand down and pressuring his opponents and trying to force an opening and then lunge him with the right hand, he relies on his jab a lot more. He relies on all the fundamentals a lot more under Andy Lee. Pressuring heavily with the jab, double jabbing, triple jabbing, going to the body, mixing it up. Throwing a jab, then a right hand, followed by a left hook. Rather than trying to, again, look like a heavyweight version of Roy Jones, he's just relying on his fundamentals a lot more. And I believe that's going to be enough to outbox Zhang. Now, if Joseph Parker gets caught in this fight, I could be changing my pick instantly because if he gets caught by Zhang, he's going to have a hard time keeping him off him because even though Zhang has slow feet, his hands are fast for a man of his size and age. So if he catches Joseph Parker, he's not going to let him breathe. Joseph Parker is going to get caught by multiple shots, and when you're hurt, you don't move as fast as you were before you were hurt. So Joseph Parker is going to get caught by the shots. I don't think he's going to be able to run out of harm's way quick enough. So this fight really depends on Joseph Parker's ability to A, take a punch, and B, avoid taking punches. And I think he's going to be able to do that. Again, his feet are still faster than most heavyweights. I don't put a ton of stock into the Joe Joyce fight because, first of all, Joseph Parker has improved, as we've seen. He had a shaky performance against Jack Massey, a British level cruiserweight, and then has looked really good since, and of course put an exclamation mark against Deontay Wilder, a top 5 ranked heavyweight. Joseph Parker was clearly not at his best there. The stories of him being sick may have appeared to be excuses at first, but I think they were legit because I'd never seen Joseph Parker look that slow and lethargic. I saw him breathing heavily after the second round. I thought, this isn't right. And why did he come in so heavy for that fight? He's not only looking lighter here, but he's also toned. And I did not know until the Deontay Wilder fight about his work with George Lockhart, who has worked with a lot of high-level UFC fighters, and what that does for him, and how he hadn't really had a strong strength and conditioning regimen up until then. So this, again, to me, points to Joseph Parker getting the win. Again, he has to stay away from that power hand. He needs to stay away from all the shots of Zhilei Zhang. But Zhang, again, even though I felt he lost against Filip Hrgovic and gave a great account of himself regardless, and he beat Joe Joyce to a pulp twice, those guys have basic footwork, slowish feet. I mean, Joe Joyce actually has fast feet. His hands are just slow. And they are a lot more hittable than Joseph Parker. So I don't think Zhilei Zhang is going to have the same success against Joseph Parker as he had with those guys. I think Joseph Parker is going to be able to dip and slip and slide and move away from his power shots. And it could be a fairly slow fight at times with Joseph Parker not giving Zhilei Zhang the openings and saying, okay, if I just land a few more clean jabs and a few more clean power shots, that's enough for me to win these rounds. And I've got to get away quickly as soon as Zhilei Zhang lets his hands go, and eventually he's going to get tired, and maybe he'll pour on the pressure in the last 6 rounds. So I think first 6 rounds, be very disciplined, force Zhilei Zhang to miss, make him miss, use your superior speed and foot, especially foot speed, foot movement, move around, get the veteran tired, and then pour on the pressure later in the last 6 rounds when you've got the fitness and Zhilei Zhang is, in my opinion, struggling to keep up with the pace. So that's my prediction, Joseph Parker by decision. Let me know what you guys think down below. Who are you picking and why? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more.